Hello everyone, welcome to 1 Minute GK. Friends, in this video, I bring to you the fifth chapter of ninth NCERT Geography, that is Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. The topics in this chapter are Introduction, Factors for Biodiversity, the types of vegetation, wildlife in India, conservation of flora and fauna, and the last, governmental steps. So let's start the lecture. First, the introduction. India is one of the 12 mega biodiversity countries of the world. The plant species in India are 47,000. In plant diversity, India is 10th in the world and 4th in Asia. There are about 15,000 flowering plants in India, which account for 6% of the total number of flowering plants in the world. When we talk about animal species, they are 90,000. And India also has a rich variety of fish in fresh as well as its marine waters. Virgin vegetation. A plant community which has grown naturally without human aid and has been left undisturbed by humans for a long time is called as virgin vegetation. The flora is used to denote plants, whereas the fauna is the term which is used to denote the animals. So, the factors for biodiversity. There are three factors. They are relief, climate, and ecosystem. Let us see them one by one. First, the relief. In relief, the sub-factor is land. The nature of land influences the type of vegetation. The fertile lands support agriculture, while undulating and the rough terrains like mountains have grassland and woodlands which give shelter to a variety of wildlife. Second is soil. The different types of soils provide basis for the different types of vegetation, of course. The sandy soils of the desert support cactus and thorny bushes just like aloe vera, while the wet marshy deltaic soils support the mangroves, for example sundri tree, and the deltaic vegetation. The hill slopes with some depth of soil have the conical trees. Second factor is climate. In that, the three sub-factors are temperature, sunlight, and precipitation. First, the temperature. The character and extent of vegetation are mainly determined by temperature along with the humidity in the air, precipitation, and the type of soil. Second is sunlight. Due to the differences in latitude, altitude, season, and the duration of day, there is a variation in duration of sunlight. Yes, of course, there is a reaction which is known as photosynthesis, and the main factor that is required for photosynthesis is nothing but the sunlight. And we know as we move from equator to poles, the duration of the day and the sunlight decreases. When we go up altitude, atmosphere becomes dilute and the temperature reduces. Also, the seasons affect the nature of sunlight. The last sub-factor is precipitation. Areas of heavy rainfall have more dense vegetation as compared to the areas of less rainfall. In India, almost the entire rainfall is brought in by the advancing southwest monsoon, that is from June to September, and the retreating northeast monsoon. The last factor is ecosystem. All the plants and animals in an area are interdependent and interrelated to each other in their physical environment, thus forming an ecosystem. The nature of plants in an area to a large extent determines the animal life in that area. Of course, most of the animals are dependent upon the trees for their food need. Hence, the kind of animal life is dependent upon the nature of plants. Human beings are also an integral part of the ecosystem. A very large ecosystem on land having distinct types of vegetation and animal life is called a biome. Means biome is similar to ecosystem, but only difference is that size and the area. So let us discuss the types of vegetation. There are five main types of vegetations that are identified in our country. First is tropical evergreen forest. Second, the tropical deciduous forest. Third, the tropical thorn forest and shrubs. Fourth is mountain forest, and the last is mangrove forest. In the adjacent map, you can see the dark shade of green color. This color indicates the tropical evergreen forest. Those are along the western coast, a small part of Tamil Nadu coast, and most part of the northeastern states. The faint green color, which is covering most of the area of Indian mainland, denotes the tropical deciduous forest. The mountain forest is limited to mountainous region, which is of course in the north of the India, where Himalayas are there. Mangrove forests are limited to coastal regions, and the tropical thorn forests are in the major part of Gujarat and Rajasthan, as well as the rain shadow area of Deccan Plateau. So let us see them one by one. First, the tropical evergreen forest. These forests are restricted to heavy rainfall areas of Western Ghats and the island groups of Lakshadweep, Andaman and Nicobar, upper parts of Assam and Tamil Nadu coast. The trees reach great heights up to 60 meters or even above. It has multi-layer structure since this region is warm and wet throughout the area. In the adjacent diagram, you can see the trees are in multi-layered fashion. They are having a large canopy as well as there are small trees, small plants, herbs and creepers as also there. Commercially important trees of this forest are ebony, mahogany, rosewood, rubber and cinchona. The common animals found in this forest are elephants, monkey, lemur and deer. Plenty of birds, bats, sloths, scorpions and snails are also found in the tropical evergreen forest. Second is tropical deciduous forest. It is the most widespread forest in the India. These are also called as the monsoon forest and spread over the region receiving rainfall between 200 cm and 70 cm. Trees of this forest type shed their leaves for about 6 to 8 weeks in the dry summers. Hence they are called as deciduous forests. These forests are further divided into the two types, moist deciduous and dry deciduous. First, the moist deciduous. This forest found in the areas which receive rainfall between 200 and 100 centimeters. They are present mostly in the eastern part of the country, including northeastern states, along the foothills of Himalaya, Jharkhand, West Orissa and Chhattisgarh, and on the eastern slopes of the western Ghats. Teak is the most dominant species of this forest. Commercially important species are bamboos, sal, sesam, sandalwood, fir, kusum, arjun and mulberry. Second, dry deciduous forest. These are found in areas having rainfall between 100 to 70 centimeters. They are present in the rainier parts of the peninsular plateau and the plains of Bihar and UP. There are open stretches in which teak, sal, peepal, neem grow. A large part of this region has been cleared for cultivation and for grazing of the cattle. Common animals found here are lion, tiger, pig, deer, and elephant. Also, a huge variety of birds, lizards, snakes, and tortoise also found in dry deciduous forest. You can see in these images the tropical deciduous forest and the thorn and scrubs, which is the next topic of our discussion. So, the third vegetation type, that is thorn forest and scrubs. These are found in the region of which less than 70 centimeters of rainfall, that means arid zone. The natural vegetation consists of thorny trees and bushes. Acacias, palms, euphorbias and cacti are the main plant species. Trees are scattered and have long roots penetrating deep into the soil to get the moisture, because this area is deficient in the water. The stems are succulent to conserve the water. Leaves are mostly thick and small to minimize the evaporation. That process is nothing but transpiration. Hence the leaves are small because they wanted to reduce the loss of water vapor through their stomata by the process of transpiration. Common animals are rats, mice, rabbits, fox, wolf, tiger, lion, wild ass, horses and camels. The fourth type of vegetation is mountain forest, that means forest of the mountain. Mountain forests have a succession of natural vegetation belts in the same order as we see from tropical to tundra region. Between a height of 1000 to 2000 meters, the wet temperate type of forest containing evergreen broadleaf trees such as oaks, chestnuts are predominant. Between 1500 to 3000 meters, the temperate forest containing coniferous trees like pine, deodar, silver fir, spruce, and kedar are found. At higher elevations, temperate grasslands are found. At high altitudes, generally more than 3600 meters above the sea level, alpine vegetation found, which are silver fir, junipers, pines, and birches trees are found. Near the snow line means the part above snow line is always having snow throughout the year. Shrubs and scrubs they merge into the alpine grassland, which are used extensively for grazing by nomadic tribes of India like Gujjars and Bakarwals. At high altitudes, mosses and lichens form part of tundra vegetation. The common animals found in this forest are Kashmir stag, spotted deer, wild sheep, jackrabbit, Tibetan antelope, yak, snow leopard, squirrels, shaggy horn wild ibex, deer, and the rare red panda, sheep and goats with thick hair. You can see the mountain forest in the first image, and in the second image, the forest is mangrove kind of forest. These trees are sundri trees, which is the next topic of our discussion. So let's come towards the last type of vegetation, that is mangrove forest. These forests are found in the areas of coast that are influenced by tides where mud and silt gets accumulated. Dense mangroves are the common varieties with the roots of plants submerged under the water. These are the deltas of Ganga, Mahanadi, the Krishna, the Godavari and the Kaveri, means the large rivers of India. In the Ganga Brahmaputra delta, Sundar trees are found, hence that part is known as Sundarbans, which provide durable hard timber, palm, coconut, kevra, agar also grow in some parts of delta. The Royal Bengal tiger is the famous animal, lives here, which is the national animal of our country. Also, turtles, crocodiles, gharials, and snakes are found in this forest. Let's talk about the wildlife in India. India has about 2000 species of birds, which constitute 13% of world's total. There are 2546 species of fish, which constitute for 12% of total world stock. It also shares between 5 to 8% of world's amphibians, reptiles, and mammals. Hence, India is one of the mega biodiversity countries in the world. Elephants are found in the hot waste forests of Assam, Karnataka, and Kerala. The one-horned rhinoceros live in the swampy and marshy lands of Assam and West Bengal. The run-of Kutch is habitat of wild ass and camels are found in the Thar desert of Rajasthan. India is the only country in the world that has both tigers and lions. That is unique. The Gir forest in Gujarat is natural habitat of lion, whereas tigers are found in the forest of Madhya Pradesh, the Sundarbans of West Bengal, and the Himalayan region. The Himalayas harbor a hardy range of animals which survive in the extreme cold, that is negative temperatures. The Ladakh freezing high altitudes are home to yak, the shaggy horned wild ox weighing around 1 ton, that is 1000 kgs, the Tibetan antelope, the bharal, which is known as blue sheep, wild sheep, and the kiai, that is Tibetan wild ass. In the rivers, lakes, and coastal areas, turtles, crocodiles, and gharials are found. Birds like peacocks, pigeons, duck, parakeets, cranes, pigeons are some of the birds that are inhabiting the forest and wetlands of the country. In the adjacent map, you can see the wildlife sanctuary, bird sanctuary, and national parks of India. So, the conservation of flora and fauna. The excessive exploitation of the plants and animals resources by human beings disturb the ecosystem. About 1300 plant species are endangered and the 20 species are extinct. Also, few animals are endangered and some have been become extinct. For example, the Asian cheetah has been extinct from India since the year of 1952. The causes for these traits are hunting by greedy hunters for commercial purposes, pollution due to chemical and industrial waste and acid deposits, the introduction of alien species, reckless cutting of the forest to bring land under cultivation and inhabitation. And this is happening due to the overburden of population in India. Because India has only 2.5% of world's total land but has more than 17% of world total population. So governmental steps. The 14 biosphere reserves have been set up in the country to protect the flora and fauna, means vegetation and wildlife. The financial and technical assistance is provided to many botanical gardens by the government since 1992. The Project Tiger, Project Rhino, Project Great Indian Bustard, and many other eco-developmental projects have been introduced. The 89 national parks, 490 wildlife sanctuaries, and the zoological gardens are set up to take care of natural heritage of India. Let us see the do you know from this chapter. The virgin vegetations, which are purely Indian, are known as endemic or indigenous species, but those which have come from outside India are termed as exotic plants. For example, the coffee or the tea plant termed as exotic plants because they have come from outside the India. State Forest Report of 2011, the forest cover in India is 21.05. The Wildlife Protection Act that was implemented in 1972. The Gir forest is the last remaining habitat of the Asiatic lion, which is in Gujarat. So thank you guys. Please do like, share and subscribe this channel. Ask your friends to subscribe the channel. If you have any suggestion, please drop it in the comment box. Jai Hind.